I'm not buying a house right now because rates are too high. Oh man, you don't bought a house with an arm rate. Your mortgage about to be so high, you're gonna lose your house in the next couple of years. These are all the things that I'm hearing. And really, what does a market crash mean in real estate? Like, is it a good time to buy? What's happening right now in the market? And truly, as a real estate investor, or a consumer, what does this all mean? There's so much hoopla going on in the world right now inside of the real estate market. I want to help clear that up for you. What does a real estate market crash look like? How do we know when we're going through it? And then more importantly, as an investor, how do we benefit from the crash? Let's talk about it. What's up guys, it's your boy Sawan Belcher. This is me taking action on Instagram, full-time real estate investor. And today let's talk about this little piece right here. A real estate market crash. What does it look like? First of all, good old Google says that a real estate market crash is a local market change. This tends to happen from time to time when housing prices go down significantly. I like that definition because we just experienced a huge price increase. Now, I know you guys may not have been paying attention to the market at all in the last 3 years, but I bet you have been paying attention to those grocery store prices. So you've seen prices in the grocery store double, if not triple, and also in the real estate industry, it's been the same exact thing. Now, the reason why this happened is because, first of all, there became a shortage of housing available for sale. Now, when the shutdown happened, what happened was, number one, people didn't know what was going to happen with money. Okay, so they wanted to hold on to it. Okay, so buyers stopped buying for a short period of time because they wanted to hold on to their cash just in case something happened and they needed to buy a bunch of food, buy protection. So when you had this massive stop to buying and they had this massive stop to selling as well, because the people who had property, they wanted to hold on to their assets. Okay, that created like a little freeze in the market. When that freeze happened, the Fed got involved. Okay, the Fed's job is to make sure that the dollar stays valuable. Okay, and more than value, but the dollar continues to increase in value. That's what they're going for. They want some kind of inflation. So when that happened and people wasn't buying, they decided to decrease interest rates in order to increase sales. Because they figured those people who are smart with money, who have money that's not buying, they're trying to make a smart decision, will make a smarter decision and buy everything because interest rates are so cheap. Now, we already know when money is easy to get, it's just supply and demand, guys. So what happened is people started getting these 2.5%, 3% interest loans. They started refinancing their portfolios that they had financed at 6 and 8% down to 4 and 5%. So that created a frenzy in the market. And because money was easy to get, people were willing to pay more. They were willing to refinance something more. They were willing to pay more for their properties. And that went on for about 2 to 2.5 years. Now, when the Fed realized that it was so much buying happening, it was causing rates to go up so much. It was causing prices to go up so much. It was going, the rate of inflation, how much prices were increasing, was going up so fast. They needed to now slow it down because now the dollar is becoming less and less valuable. So now the Feds get back in the game again and say, hey, we're going to increase rates every quarter. Bing, it goes up to 3. Bing, it goes up to 3.5. Bing, it goes up to 5. Now we're almost at an average of 7.5% on consumer loans. So that means that credit card loans have gone up, right? Investor loans have gone up. Now, whenever you get up to a higher interest rates, it's harder to get money. They put stipulations in place about debt to income. They put more stipulations about loan to value, and that starts to drive prices down. And here is where this definition of a real estate market crash comes into play. It's because if everybody just purchased property at $200,000, but people that are buying today, who are getting loans today, will only pay $190,000 for that same exact property. And they also want you to pay for a new fence and a new roof and new appliances. Realistically, that's a $30,000 net loss to that person who just purchased. This person can't sell now. They just purchased 3 years ago, but they have to sell because they didn't realize that not only will their mortgage go up, but also the price of materials and groceries and gas and cars was gonna go up. So now they can't afford it. And another stat that Google says is that the average first-time home buyer will sell in the first 5 years. You know what happens in the first 5 years? You pay nothing but interest on your mortgage. So reasonably, when you go to an amortization schedule on a $200,000 loan at a, let's call it 6% interest rate, in the first 5 years, you have maybe paid down $6,000 or $7,000 in principal. If prices have gone down, you're not able to sell and actually make a profit. Isn't that what real estate is made for? Appreciation. We buy it now, we sell it later as is. Isn't that what the holy grail of real estate is about? Yes, it is. But in markets like we're in right now, a lot of people had great credit, had a little savings in the bank, and used it to buy property and pay a little bit more than they should have for that property. But look, here's the good news for you. I just checked in with my real estate broker, one of the main guys that makes offers for me, and he said that compared to how much property is on the MLS right now, compared to the amount of people that we have in our area, we have 2,300 listings right now active in the Triad MLS, but we have a population of over 1.8 million people. So that means that supply is still low and demand is still high. But realistically, how can those people that purchased 3 years ago sell if they're not doing those prices? Well, this is where the investor comes in. This is how you maximize. People get greedy, you get fearful. When people get fearful, you get greedy. Now is your time as a real estate investor to go to work. Market to sellers off market, offer them creative terms, seller financing and subject to, and buy property with no money down by pairing them with tenant buyers, pairing them with private money guys, and pairing them with cash buyers, so that way you can end up owning more property than anyone else. So in the next 5, 6, 10 years, when things are at an all-time high again, you'll literally have a monopoly board full that you can release, leverage, sell, and have $1 million or millions of dollars worth of net worth.